Well, you've probably been wondering about this one, and I've been taking a lot of time to think this through. So, since everybody's been doing it, I gotta chime in and discuss my my concerns with Halloween the game. Hello, everyone. Clay Frederick of the Horror Franchise, back at it with another Halloween the Game video. I'm kind of pulling this off for a little bit, but now I feel like it's time to talk about my concerns with Halloween, the night he came home to your consoles and PCs, you name it. So, in order to tell this little story, or explain my concerns, I want to talk about my personal experiences with the ASIM games as a whole. Let's talk about three categories that we're going to go into here. Obviously, number one is going to be longevity. Longevity is definitely one of the big concerns with Halloween the game. This is something that definitely is an issue with other ASIMs. Let's talk about, first and foremost, Friday the 13th, the game. The greatest game I've ever played. To this day, still my favorite game of all time. I absolutely adore Friday the 13th. It is the game that changed the trajectory of my point of view of gaming forever. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean as in before, I never played multiplayer games. I was only single player. I never even considered it with any game until Friday the 13th. When I entered the world of Friday the 13th, the game, I was introduced to a world of the multiplayer and the ASIM gaming. Just, it changed everything. I met a lot of people through my years playing this game. I played this game for 7 years, since October 13th, 2017, when they rolled out the physical edition. Because it released digitally in May 24th, I believe it was. Somewhere in there. Anyways, no, I was playing that, and the rest was history. And I'm going to tell you, it was nothing has ever come close to Friday the 13th when it comes to all these other ASIM games. The replayability, the fun factor, the fact that all these different versions of Jason, all these counselors with their pros and cons, with their stats, with like strengths and weaknesses, the maps, even though some of them are samey, they're all unique in their own way. And it's just incredibly fun. Incredibly fun. I've met a lot of these people I've met. I made some friends. I've made some enemies. And people that just showed their true colors. You know how it is. You meet a bunch of trolls. You meet a bunch of fake people. It's just whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, there are quite a bit of people that I still talk to this day that I've met through Friday the 13th since that time. And I'm glad they're all coming to Halloween. Because, man, it's going to feel like a fever dream. It's going to feel like a callback to the Friday the 13th days. Halloween the game feels a lot like Friday the 13th. It's a spiritual successor in a sense, with aspects of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Predator, a little bit of Predator Hunting Grounds when it comes to NPCs and such. When it comes to cosmetics and such, you have Ghostbusters Unleashed when it comes to the convincing of the NPC characters through the Haddonfield Heroes, that aspect. And so, yeah, like, it's just, there's a lot of cool things coming. So, what is it that I'm talking about with longevity? Well, Friday the 13th died because of a lawsuit. A lawsuit had completely stopped all content, and Gunn and IllFonic had no choice but to just really keep the servers going for as long as possible, up until its demise in January 1st, 2025, at approximately 12:07 a.m. Part of me died that night. God, it sucked. Anyways, so, yeah. So in 2020, I kind of wanted to play a different game. The last week before release, I was convinced to buy Predator Hunting Grounds. Predator Hunting Grounds. The first few months I played this game, it was incredibly fun. I wanted to be a Predator main. The Fire team, I got plenty of time on them, but it doesn't feel as quite repetitive. It's really repetitive as Fire Team. You could say the same with Predator, but playing as Predator was epic. The game as a whole, it felt great. It's incredibly fun to play when you're actually having fun and not being pulverized by the opposing teams. So yeah, after that they nerfed the Predator, and then the rest was history. But till this, and then a lot of people were just saying that this is a dead game. It's still being played to this day, guys. It's got a player base. I mean, we'll get to replay. We'll get to other things. The longevity of this game, it had its bumpy road. So, still, even though it's not getting a lot of content, and we got 3 Predators this year, by the way. So people saying this game is dead, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. But anyways, that just as long as it has a player base, it's still thriving, guys. It's still thriving. And I still play it. I'm going to play it here before Halloween comes out, just to get some more hours into it, just to try to have fun, because I know I'm never touching it again afterwards. So, but no, Predator Hunting Grounds, I've had a lot of fun. It's got a bumpy road, but it's still kicking. It's still going. Elphonic is still supporting the game. There's content that comes out every once in a while, because they're putting all their efforts into Halloween the game right now. Once Halloween comes out and they have all this stuff coming around, they're focusing their efforts on their other games. So it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So Dead by Daylight's another one we're going to talk about here too. Dead by Daylight is the only game that truly still has the power of longevity in it, because Behavior truly keeps all this content with skins, characters, chapters, and just trying to reinvent itself along the way. It keeps creating new things as it keeps going. I got into Dead by Daylight on May 24th, 2021, right around when the first trailer for the first Resident Evil chapter dropped, and I knew I had to go all in. And then it has been a road of negativity and toxicity, and I totally just don't care. So, but no, I've had my fun moments with Dead by Daylight. I love the game, I truly do, but I don't like the community at all. They ruined everything. They always do. So, and there were other reasons why I ultimately left Dead by Daylight recently, about over a month ago. And I already made a video called Goodbye Dead by Daylight that explains why I left the game. But the short term is I left because obviously the 10th year anniversary event was just the worst ever. That just completely burned me out. Jason came out. It was a success in my eyes. It was incredibly fun. That was the chapter I've been long waiting for. And after that, I don't care what happens now. So. And obviously, Halloween game is the main reason I left. But it's a toxic community, and the fact that I've had two different groups of people. Some of them are the same people, but they ruined it for me. They screwed everybody in the group. They pointed the fingers at everybody else rather than themselves when it's really their fault. And somehow, I'm the bad guy. I've never been the bad guy to begin with. I was the good guy. This is getting off topic. I apologize if I'm rambling on it, but I'm just explaining my thoughts on things. So, I ultimately just I wanted to do that. And I played solo queue for the most part, too. That didn't help at all. So, Dead by Daylight's good with longevity. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We already know the story about that. So, the first few months, fucking great. The mood atmosphere, the gameplay. You get 3 killers against 4 survivors, family and victim. You don't see that a whole lot. You see that in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You got 3v7, but I never played that game. So, Texas Chainsaw, it was like a part of it was feeling good. It was like Friday the 13th in a sense, a little bit. Bringing a cool IP like Texas Chainsaw into this, it was nice. It was definitely the most gorgeous looking ASIM game out there. Bar none. So, it's had its issues as well when it comes to longevity. There were certain cosmetics and character skins and stuff that were really in a paywall. You had to pay quite a bit of money to buy these skins, and I thought that was ridiculous. I bought a majority of them, but I was just like, this is ridiculous price range for this. And that's another reason why people were kind of turned off. So, and plus, it started out great with updates. And then it just, after like 3 months, when Danny and Nancy showed up in like late 2023 during the holiday season, Danny was the most broken character in the game, with an ability to really just make the game completely unplayable, where the family can't do nothing. The tamper ability, where you can tamper objects and stuff where they can't interact with. So that fucked everything for months. And that was really the first signs of the game's demise right there. He got patched, but didn't do much. So when Maria and Hans came out, that was really just a breath of fresh air for me, because Maria was as a character who truly felt like she was the main reason for this game to happen, the story-wise, lore-wise, because Anna is the sister leading the group of her friends to find Maria, which ultimately led to Leatherface and the family, to everything that happened. So it was awesome to see Maria. And Maria is my second favorite next to Anna. So I love the Flora sisters. The Flora sisters reign supreme, baby! Yeah! But anyways, no. And then in 2025, Gunn decided to say the game reaches full potential, and they just straight up abandoned it. Dude, that sucked. When I heard that, when I saw that shit, I was like, are you kidding me, Gunn? I know why. We all, at this point, probably know already why. I'm not going to explain why, but it just, still, when you do something like that, that just really is a gut punch, and it rips your heart out completely for a game like this. I wanted Texas Chainsaw to succeed so bad, and just like that, the plug was pulled. So, it still has a loyal player base. I've been playing it for the last few days. Most of the time, I'm not really enjoying myself, but today, I streamed it, and I had a good time. It's hit or miss with me. So, yeah. Now you probably at this point you're thinking, okay, well, what's the point of this video? Well, I'm going through my longevity. These games have issues when it comes to longevity. So Friday the 13th was definitely understandable because of a lawsuit. Predator Hunting Grounds, there's not much content coming out for it. And it's because Halloween's being made. They're focusing on their efforts into that. Dead by Daylight's the only one that truly has no issues with longevity at all. So Texas Chainsaw, its longevity's dead. Just dead. It's just running on dedicated player base. And as long as a game has player base, you'll be alright. The game's going to be good. That's all there is to it. So, now we get to replayability here. Replayability really just... Friday the 13th was the ultimate replayability for me. Like, the ultimate replayability. The content... When it comes to content every so often, rather than several months, you get characters, cosmetics. Myers gets to... Or killers get to have more variety to them. Maps are definitely, in my opinion, the biggest thing to keep a game feeling fresh. Because you're exploring something new instead of you're having to relearn a new map. It feels like day one for you guys, or when you first get the game and you're playing it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Increasing level caps, things like that. Texas Chainsaw failed at doing that because once you hit 99, there's nothing to grind for. So Dead by Daylight definitely had the best grinding system, period. Blood points to level all your characters. You get all these items and certain things to really just make you stand out. So, yeah. So... When it comes to replayability, in my opinion, I think Friday the 13th was the best. Dead by Daylight obviously being second. And then probably Texas Chainsaw, and then Predator Hunting Grounds. I think the fire team aspect definitely was definitely the most repetitive and stale. Predator, you can have different Predators, you can have different builds and such, you can do whatever weapons you want to really play however you want, stealthy or super aggressive, you know, shit like that. So, there's that. Now, we get to the third and final one. And it's Bully Squads. Bully Squads. I can't even say it. I can't even pronounce it right. It's like traumatic experiences or something. I'm kidding. I stutter my words. Sorry. Bully Squads is another big issue. Now, Ilphonic, Miles Dopier, Jordan Mathewson, and their Q&A stream, they've already stated that they are definitely working very hard to counter Bully Squads as much as possible. And from Michael, the way his abilities work, They look like they're very promising to counter it as much as possible. You can't eliminate Bully Squads from gaming 100%. You just can't. It's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be a thing no matter what. People are going to do everything in their power to learn how to ruin the killer side as much as possible. And yet you wonder why all these games die. Dicks. Anyways. But no, I think there's a lot of promise in countering it as much as possible. I think Michael's definitely going to be a much more oppressive killer to counter this stuff, more so than any of these other ASIM games, especially with Friday the 13th. Because Jason is definitely the catalyst of this. You can make a case with Dead by Daylight. That's hit or miss with you. With depending on the other killers as well. There's different variety of killers. Predator, it just depends on how you play. I think Predator's definitely it's a hit or miss with you. So, and Leatherface, it depends on team comp. It's team, really just communication is key with that. So, yeah, Jason definitely gets the short end of the stick because he got the worst of it big time. And I remember that stuff. I remember. I suffered through it too, guys. Fuck those people. But I think Michael's got the better end of the stick here where he can really, and we've only gotten a portion of his abilities, so we don't know what his other abilities are going to be. We're going to have to find out until the game comes out. So, and plus the way to play is that NPCs are the main objective. And if the citizens are not doing their objective, Michael's going to win. He's going to kill all the NPCs and it's just going to be you guys left and you get no points. So, yeah. Or if you escape prematurely early in the match, you still lose. I can already hear people going, I escaped, I still won. No, you didn't. You lost. Michael won. Get over it. Anyways, no. I think in terms of longevity, when it comes to certain games, the best one that has longevity is obviously Dead by Daylight. Predator Hunting Grounds is still kicking. It's still kicking. It's got a loyal player base. Texas Chainsaw Massacre still has a loyal player base, but there's no content anymore because of gun abandoning it. Friday the 13th was due to a lawsuit. That's the only that we'll give it a pass because even after that, the player base was still loyal as hell to it up until the very bitter end of its life cycle. Now, there are still people that are playing it through the mods that are being built for it. You have DNS servers on PlayStation. It just goes to show that Friday the 13th is still heavily talked about and beloved by so many people. I'm included. I play offline bots and single-player challenges every once in a blue moon. I fucking love Friday the 13th. It's the greatest game I've ever played. And if Halloween could be just as good or better, it would be an uphill battle to get there. They have to, from what I've seen, Halloween, I got no issues with Halloween. It's just really the things I've stated when it comes to longevity, replayability, bully squads. How is this going to be handled? What will Ilphonic do in the long run? They've already got 1 year of content planned, but what happens after that? It depends on the sales. It depends on us, the customer, on how much money Halloween makes. Money talks, bullshit walks. So it's up to us to make the game a hit or miss. Now, let's get into bias territory here. I've already talked about longevity, replayability, bully squads. Let's talk about my personal experiences with these games. Friday the 13th. I truly was one of the best players in the game. I felt like I was one of the best Part 7 players. Part 7 being one of the weakest Jasons in the game. He was the weakest at one point, but he got buffed. He's still one of the weakest. And I usually dominate lobbies. Most of the time. It's really like 90 to 10. So, Predator Hunting Grounds. That was really just... It ranges from 60-40 to 50-50 to 40-60. It's really just... It depends on how good of a player they are. Dead by Daylight. It took me a while to get actually remotely decent at this. I was just horrible for a while. But this past year, I was really good at killer, and then sometimes I'm really bad at killer. I will play Survivor. I mostly get my ass kicked. It's really just a skill issue. Pardon me for when it comes to Dead by Daylight. The main thing about that is that looping was the thing that you really had to master at. Looping is key as Survivor. That is the thing you really have to be skillful at in order to actually survive. When it comes to killer, you really just got to really play the mind game. That's all there is to it. So it's all about mind gaming with that game. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Communication. That's the biggest thing. Communication was key in that game. And I played solo, so that was really my short end of the stick on that one. So, but communication with your team, especially on family, in order to win, is definitely the best thing about that game. And just having a lot of experience playing it as well will help. Me, I suck at it. I'm not good at that game. And I tried to be a great player with that. So let's go back again to F13. I know I keep going back and forth. I probably lost you guys. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to explain myself to you guys what my point of view is. Friday the 13th, I had no issues with skill issues at all. No issues with skill issues. Let me reiterate. Predator Hunting Grounds is just off and on. Dead by Daylight was just off and on. I already mentioned that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that one I think I just sucked more than all these other games. But I still enjoy the game for what it is. There are a lot of things I love. Look, I love all these games for what they are. They're all unique. They're faithful to their IPs. Things like that. Dead by Daylight is just like the Hall of Fame of horror. The Avengers assemble, you know. But here's the thing. The only game I truly felt like I was absolutely amazing at was Friday the 13th. These other games, I had a lot of a struggle. I struggled horribly to be remotely even good. To be considered a good player in these games. Friday the 13th is the only one that did that to me. And here's my biggest fear with Halloween the game. My biggest concern of all. I would go through all these videos that I've made for you guys to go into this game and doing the exact same thing that happened with TCM. Failing. Failing you. Failing the community. Failing myself at saying that I want to be one of the best Michael Myers players and probably one of the best players in general. I want to be that. I know a lot of you want to be that. You want to be known to the community, right? That's why I'm striving to do what I'm doing here. I've already caught the attention of a couple of content creators by being passionate and faithful to this. So, my biggest fear, my biggest concern is just really not being good at the game at all. Being a horrible Myers player, being a horrible Haddonfield Hero player, just being a horrible player in general. And it ain't just the longevity. Longevity, as long as it has a player base, it's going to be good. As long as the content comes out every so often, instead of every 3 months or 5 months, 6 months, shit like that, what Texas Chainsaw did in that last act of its life, that's a problem. Bully squads, people can counter it depending on how good you are. If you learn to really learn every fine grain of detail of the game, you should be able to be okay when it comes to countering bully squads. It really depends on how good you are at the game and how well you can at least counter them. But ultimately, I want to be a good player. I want to be a good player. I want to be known as a figurehead of this community and Halloween the game, because Halloween is my ultimate favorite IP. It is everything to me. It is the reason I have this in the background. It's the reason I'm doing this. It's this. Everything is because of Halloween, the night he came home. So, and I grew up since I was 6 years old watching the original. It's my ultimate childhood. I live and breathe Halloween, and I want to live and game it even further. So, I hope you guys stuck around as long as you did and understood where I'm coming from here. And really just going in, what are your concerns with Halloween the game? Because we have already got some content creators talking about it, and I just felt like I wanted to say something myself. But even though I got a little bit personal here and there, I needed to be. I wanted to be. And I wanted to let you know. What are your concerns? Longevity, repellability, bully squads? Your own personal skill issue? Whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys on the streets of Haddonfield very soon. Peace out.